Commissioner Nostine?
Here.
Commissioner Holt?
Here.
Commissioner Jones? Here. Commissioner Osborne? Here. And Commissioner Schwer? Here. 9 present, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I'd like to also remind everyone this meeting is being recorded for the public record. And if you'd please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thanks.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Clerk, have there been any executive sessions held since our last meeting?
No, none since the last meeting of the board.
Thank you. Board, before us, we have the minutes from our March 8th, 2017 meeting. Are there any questions or concerns in regards to those minutes?
Move the adoption. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Bray, second by Commissioner Doherty. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. At this time, I'd like to give anyone an opportunity to address the board on a non-agenda item. Will you please state your name at the podium?
My name is Tom Campione, Chairman of the Lehigh Valley Tea Party. And if you indulge me, I'd just like to read a letter that was sent to each of the commissioners on March 13th. Dear Commissioner, please be advised that this communication is on behalf of Lehigh Valley Tea Party's members who reside in Lehigh County. We are extremely concerned with the fact that Lehigh County is classified by the Center of Immigration Studies, CIS, as a sanctuary county. We are well aware that some commissioners claim this categorization is unfair, while some claim that CIS is irrelevant. That, in fact, neither is true. The Center of Immigration Studies is the preeminent authority providing federal immigration policymakers, the academic community, news media, and concerned citizens with reliable information on social, economic, environmental, security, and fiscal consequences of legal and illegal immigration into the United States, and has been for the past 25 years. Further, CIS will most likely be the source for action by the Trump administration when the issue of withholding federal funds is finally addressed. Currently, Lehigh County's Resolution 2014-36 sets forth a policy of ignoring ICE detention requests unless accompanied by a judicial order. Like it or not, this policy, the refusal to comply with ICE detention requests, is what establishes Lehigh County as a sanctuary jurisdiction. So where does this policy originate? It's a direct result of the Ernesto Galarza case, where Mr. Galarza was thought to be an illegal, detained for 48 hours by ICE request, and then found to in fact be a citizen, as he had claimed all along to Allentown police, a claim for which he had provided proof in the form of New Jersey ID. Ultimately, the case was settled with a payment of $95,000 to cover Galarza's legal fees. To prevent this from happening again, Lehigh County's solution was to stop honoring official ICE orders. In this case, we believe the problem was not the ICE order, but rather the fact that Galarza was erroneously identified as an illegal by local police. Had he in fact been an illegal, few would consider a 48-hour hold over a weekend awaiting an ICE pickup to be an extraordinary circumstance. Further, it is highly unlikely that a civil complaint claiming civil rights abuse, if filed, would have been heard. We believe that any reasonable person reviewing the facts in their proper perspective would conclude that the injustice in the Galarza case was not that an illegal was detained for 48 hours waiting for ICE pickup, but that a citizen who should have never been detained was held. In reviewing the current policy, the Lehigh Valley Tea Party calls upon the Lehigh County Board of Commissioners to consider the following. The roughly $230 million that various government entities throughout the county receive from the federal government, which are put at risk by this decision, and the extreme hardship that would result if these federal dollars were lost due to Lehigh County's sanctuary status. The effort that would be required to restart funding if the county chose to take no action now, but waited to comply until after funding cuts were enacted. And lastly, the implication that the Board of Commissioners is more concerned about being sued than they are concerned about further crimes in Lehigh County that might be committed by someone who is released rather than detained as requested. Thus, we ask the Lehigh County Board of Commissioners to take the following actions. 1, rescind Resolution 2014-34 in its entirety. 2, approve a resolution requiring the Department of Corrections to make improvements to the process of identifying illegals who claim to be in the country legally, so that we might ensure that no lawful resident is held unduly. And 3, once the vote is complete, to contact CIS and formally request removal from the list. Current Board of Commissioners has an opportunity to resolve an issue that has been plagued by the county, that has plagued the county for some time. If the above steps are taken, we believe that our members, and in fact all Lehigh County residents, will be best served. We urge you to act immediately. Sincerely, Tom Campione, Chairman, Lehigh Valley Tea Party. And to this, I would add that just 2 days ago, ICE did in fact publish a list of jurisdictions that have policies that limit their cooperation with ICE, and Lehigh County is most definitely on that list. So there's some question as to whether federal funds will continue if sanctuary cities are cut. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Hi, my name is Carrie Santoro, and I am a resident of Lehigh County. I would like to thank Lehigh County for their stance on cooperating with ICE only with a judicial order. Resolution 2014-36 improves Lehigh County in a few ways that I would like to remind commissioners of. First of all, it's humane. I understand the birth of this resolution may be rooted in litigation and not necessarily morality, but if Lehigh County were to cooperate with ICE completely unchecked and fail to maintain some semblance of sanctuary status, the human toll of increased deportations cannot be understated. According to pediatrician, medical director, and co-founder of Terra Firma, Dr. Alan Shapiro, studies have exposed the devastating effects of parental deportation on the millions of children left behind, the majority of whom are United States citizens. These studies link deportation to increased poverty, which comes with increased hunger, poor health, decline in emotional well-being, learning difficulties, and homelessness. If the increased childhood poverty in Lehigh County and ripping families apart doesn't appeal to you, I do have some good news. You are keeping us safer. The U.S. Conference of Mayors, the Major Cities Chiefs Association, and 63 police chiefs and sheriffs have said that anti-sanctuary policies could harm community trust and make it harder for state and local law enforcement officers to do their jobs. Lehigh County needs to be focused on building relationships between people and communities, not increasing racial profiling at the behest of ICE. Yeah. Because, yeah. Right. Let's be honest, people who look like me are not going to be stopped and detained indefinitely under suspicion of being in the country illegally. When the relationships between police and communities they patrol are strong, witnesses and victims feel safe coming forward to help solve crimes. More good news is that the fear-mongering around the criminal activity of immigrants is unfounded. Studies show that foreign-born residents of the United States commit crimes less often than native-born citizens, and all immigrants are less likely to be incarcerated than natives relative to their shares of the population. In fact, the majority of people deported have only minor traffic offenses or no criminal record at all. Woo!
Mm-hmm. True.
Thanks, guys. I'm really nervous, so thank you. I understand the temptation to give in to anti-sanctuary legislation that threatens to withhold funds. I really do get it. But this legislation is entirely counterproductive, and we should all be vehemently railing against it. When a bully demands your lunch money, you do not hand it over and thank him for it. On taxation and economic policy, undocumented immigrants pay a higher tax rate than the top 1% of earners across the country, including Pennsylvania, which raked in $139 billion last year in taxes paid by the very people accused of draining our economy. According to the Morning Call, while construction, hospitality, and agriculture are the largest employers of undocumented workers, wholesale and retail also would feel the impact of the loss of that labor force. Further, the cost of produce could skyrocket due to a lack of farm workers, and the restaurant and manufacturing industries could see severe labor shortages, driving up costs or possibly forcing businesses to close. It would not create more American jobs. It would, however, increase automation, the unsung hero of American job loss. Let's call a spade a spade. Anti-sanctuary legislation is a poorly disguised vessel to maintain power over Black and brown communities. Not connecting the dots. White supremacy and nationalism hurt everyone.
That's right.
Lehigh County, of 27 years of my 30 years on this earth, I am here to thank you for standing strong and not giving in to the unfounded claims by those pushing anti-sanctuary legislation. In doing so, you are keeping parents with their children where they belong, keeping our communities safer, and encouraging economic prosperity for everyone who lives here. Regardless of the intentions of Resolution 2014-36, I know there are many Lehigh County residents who appreciate seeing these values upheld. Thank you so much for your time.
Good evening, Joe Hilliard, South Allentown. I'm going to be in the unique position of pissing off both sides.
So what else is new?
Everybody who knows me, I want the wall built. We have to control immigration.